Today we're talking about how online apps can actually be toxic to you. How's it going, guys? Dr. Tank PharmD here, board-certified practicing medicine specialist and personal health coach, helping action takers like you take back control of their lives and emotional health so they can feel better and be better. And although I am a practicing medicine specialist, I'm not your specialist. So if you have any questions regarding your condition, please see your doctor. Don't forget to click like and subscribe so you get the latest updates on the weekly videos. Let's get into it. We all search to find companionship for our loneliness. And the past few years have been very rough for us because we've all been contained. Now, I can't speak for females, but I can tell you it's been really rough for the males online. And let me tell you this, the apps haven't made it any easier. Now, I tried the dating apps to see what it's like, and I realized it started hypnotizing me. It became fun to just swipe through people and see new faces. And as a guy, when you see a pretty face, you get quickly hypnotized, and you start fantasizing about ideas of how their life is and who they are. But these apps can be very frustrating because they change the social dynamic of things. And I'm not just talking about people who have OnlyFans they're trying to market, or the bots that are on there. There's a general structure that we use when we meet somebody in person. When we see somebody, our emotional brain activates. And when it activates, our brain has to consider if this person is a threat or if this is somebody we want to have an interaction or relationship with. For females, there's also an additional consideration they have to make. Because females have a smaller structure than the equivalent male of the same demographics, they have to really consider the physical threat aspect of it. They have to consider if this is a person who's going to be physically threatening or threatening their safety. And this is all done in an instant. And the person has a small window of opportunity to change their first impression. Online interactions also have a structure. They begin with an emotional evaluation of the person. It's followed by logical evaluation of the person. And you're probably wondering, what's the difference? Well, the difference is that when you're evaluating somebody online, you can quickly pass through the emotional phase. So when someone's physically attractive to you online, you want to re-engage your emotions. You want to keep thinking about that person because it makes you feel good. It activates your emotions. However, if someone isn't physically attractive to you, or is deemed a threat to you, you don't want to think about that person. They don't make you feel threatened because they're not physically there. You can quickly disregard them, swipe left, or ignore them. And that way, your brain bypasses the emotional phase and just straight into the logical one. What this means is the apps allow us to bypass emotional thinking if we want. So for women, this is great because online relationships don't have to be a physical or safety threat to them. But it does something very dangerous, is that it allows people to disregard others very quickly. When we meet somebody in person, there are social norms we have to follow. Say if we're in a library, we have to treat somebody with respect very quietly. However, if we're in a club, we could yell at the person. And online removes those social filters. We don't have to treat somebody differently because they're online. When we see somebody that we don't like, we could tell them to and unmatch them. And when you're online and unfiltered, of course it's gonna be liberating. And because it's so liberating, we're gonna see people be on their best behavior, right? Because that's what the internet's known for. This difference between an online and in-person interaction can create huge problems. One of which is the time delay. There's a delay when you communicate with somebody via text, because you have to wait for the other person to respond to the message. This time delay itself can create problems because you don't know if the person hasn't answered it or they don't want to answer it. And then the app itself could be a problem. Just because you swiped right and approved of somebody doesn't mean that they see your profile immediately. There may be a delay for when they see your profile, and that is even if they approved and swiped right for you. In addition, if the person doesn't check their app constantly, they're not gonna get your message that they got matched, and they're not gonna see that you wanna communicate with them. So not only is there a delay in the messaging system itself, there's a delay because of the app itself. And this time delay can create a problem because people think that you might be busy, or they might misconstrue the situation and think you're ghosting them. And nobody wants to be ghosted. Another structural problem that's lost with online conversations is the body language communication. We only communicate 8% of our communications verbally. Over 50% is communicated with our body language, and over 35% is communicated with our vocal tone. So 90% of our communication is completely lost with online conversations. We need these communication cues so that we can clearly connect with the person. We can clearly see and hear how they emotionally connect with us. And we evaluate that instantly. That's why it's so important to meet someone in person. Because within 30 seconds, you're able to see if you guys click or not. Another problem with just having verbal communication online is that this is 10% of our communication. And you have the option of editing and drafting and redrafting what you communicate with a person through text. So what you read through text is something that has been drafted over and over until it's the perfect response. As opposed to when you're communicating with somebody in person, you don't have that chance to go back and change what you've said. You already said it, and it's the natural flow of things. Another problem with communicating through online means is that text can be easily misconstrued. You don't hear the sarcasm or the joking tone that comes through with the text. So that 10% through verbal communication is even further misconstrued. So you're probably only getting 5% of what someone is trying to say when they're communicating online. The third problem you get when you communicate with somebody online is that you only get a curated presentation of who they want you to see. Not only are the pictures photoshopped, but every photo that's put into their bio is curated so that they present themselves as a great person. What you see online is a show. It's a presentation of their ideal self. It's like seeing an actor and judging them for the roles that they play and not who they truly are. If you've ever been angry at an actor for a role that they've played, that means that they've been really good at performing that role. And it doesn't mean that that's truly who they are. People tend to really be confused by this, and that they'll say that the actor is the character that they're playing. When you meet somebody online and you really love the character that they've presented, it doesn't necessarily mean that's the person that they really are. And the fourth, and quite possibly the most dangerous one of them all, is that apps dehumanize us. Russell Brand says that these apps have commoditized relationships and emotions. And in turn, it's commoditized humans. What that means is, we as humans become items in this shopping store. People swipe left or right, choosing whether they want to keep us or not. And they quickly get hypnotized into this shopping fest. The more they have, the better it looks for them. They get more validation because more people like them. And when they get that validation, it feels great. They want more. It's like collecting Pokemon. And it gets quickly addictive. So people become commodities in these apps. They start losing their human value. You don't see the person on the other side of that screen. You just see the bio they present and choose whether you like it or not. Now, I'm not saying these apps are bad. I've seen close friends find significant others on these apps and they live happily ever after. What I'm saying is that these apps can be a problem if you become addicted to them for no other reason than validation. Now, I don't know how to fix these social problems around online dating and in-person dating. These are very complex. But what you can do is you can fix the problems that live internally. You can find validation within yourself so that you don't have to search out validation from other people. You can also find ways to cure your own boredom by not relying on the apps themselves. A lot of people will go to the app because they want validation from other people and because they're bored, when instead they should be finding ways to validate themselves and picking up skills that are useful in life and to themselves. If you want to build yourself up, it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. What these apps do is they make you feel special. It makes you feel like all these people love you and you could have a relationship with all of them, when in fact, you're only compatible with probably a few of them. And the problem with everybody feeling special.
And when everyone's super, no one will be.
What do you guys think? How do you approach online dating? Let me know in the comments down below. If your anger and pain have you feeling lost and confused, and you want to know how to deal with them quickly, check out the Emotional Map program, where we have 7 modules that deal with each emotional component. And there's a worksheet for each module that helps you dive deep into each portion of them. We're running a special this March with a promotional price with a link down below. Don't forget to click like and subscribe, and until next time guys, be healthy.